"We're not going to let you sleep," chant the demonstrators. Their target is Poland's right-wing governing Law and Justice Party, and in particular its arch-conservative leader Jarosław Kaczyński, who most protesters believe is the puppet master behind the abortion crackdown. These are the biggest demonstrations that Poland has seen since the collapse of communism more than 30 years ago. Poland joined the European Union in 2004, and now, just 16 years later, what we're seeing here is Poland moving away from core European values.
Please, Europe, and please, world, support us. We can't be in this alone, because we won't manage alone. So we need any help, any support from all the world. All the world should know what is right now happening in Poland.
Kasia Bienkowska sported the symbol of the women's movement. So did Emanuela Zielinska. It's a red lightning bolt to represent women's strike, as this slogan says. But the government claims it's the insignia of Adolf Hitler's brutal SS corps. The women argue with placards like this that only Kaczynski's government is being authoritarian by dictating control of their bodies.
I feel terrible. I feel like someone is throwing mud at me. It shouldn't be like this in a country where I'm supposed to feel free. I'm scared and disgusted with the government. It's shameless what they do. It shouldn't be like this.
This is something unbelievable that old man and Kaczynski, he is telling the young women to what they have to do or not. This is unbelievable.
Poland's bitter divide was apparent in Parliament as Jarosław Kaczyński confronted his opponents.
First of all, take off those SS signs. And secondly, all those demonstrations which you have supported and still take part in, all those demonstrations cost many people their lives. You have blood on your hands.
Opposition lawmakers responded by telling Kaczyński, "You'll end up in jail."
Once the rule of law returns, many of you will be in jail.
Kaczynski's politics are rooted in Poland's dominant faith, Roman Catholicism. This slogan compares Catholic dogma as being as fundamentalist as Islam's Sharia law. Church power forged Poland's historically tough abortion rules. Critics accuse the late Polish Pope, John Paul II, of exploiting his adulation to impose his will, permitting legal abortion only in 3 circumstances: risk to the health or life of the pregnant woman, severe or irreversible impairment of the fetus, pregnancy following rape or incest. Now Poland's highest court has outlawed the clause affecting malformed fetuses, the main justification for the majority of legal abortions. President Andrzej Duda has suggested that Parliament should pass a compromise.
We are supporting the President's proposal.
Deputy Government spokesman Radosław Fogiel.
In many cases, a severe malfunction for the fetus also means a danger to mother's life. The idea of this proposal is to make the law as precise as possible within the ruling of the Constitutional Court that will allow to protect mother's life in cases like this.
Activists claim the new restrictions will force more Polish women to travel abroad to obtain abortions. We met Anna Urbanek at a Warsaw hotel. She went to the Netherlands to terminate an unwanted pregnancy.
It would be really, really way better if we could do this in our own country. I felt a bit weird before my abortion, just before the medical procedure, because I was so happy that I'm gonna stop being pregnant. And now I think that's quite normal. And no, I never regretted it.
NataliaBroniarcyzk runs a non-profit that advises women on abortions and helps them fix terminations in other countries. Their helpline is now inundated. She's livid that women are being forced to travel during the COVID pandemic.
This is like putting us in a position when we have to risk our health, our life. We have to lie to our partners, to our families, because many women don't tell to their families that they are pregnant because they are afraid of stigma and they are afraid that someone will judge them. I think that the situation shows us that Poland, it's a really, really bad country to live for women.
Abortion is a violation of basic human rights, especially the right to life. Every life should be protected before and after birth.
Lawyer Karolina Pawlowska is director of a well-funded pro-life foundation that opposes the protest movement.
I think the ruling of the Constitutional Tribunal of Poland is a great step towards full realization of human rights in our country, and that this ruling could be also an inspiration for other countries to protect human rights of everyone.
Uwaga, uwaga! Policja informuje!
The abortion ruling is the latest Polish rejection of European Union norms. The government's dismissal of critical judges and replacing them with party loyalists was the subject of this Warsaw demonstration in July 2019. The European Commission then launched disciplinary action against Poland for undermining the independence of the judiciary. At the same time, hardline local authorities were establishing what they called LGBT-free zones. A pride march in the town of Białystok was attacked by a mob of right-wing Poles. Back in Warsaw this week, prominent political scientist Roman Kuźniar was in no doubt what is happening.
It's a part of the process which is going on in this country since few years. The process which consists on, redirecting us from Europe, you see, towards Russia, towards the League of Authoritarian Nationalistic Regimes.
Baker Tomek Grabowski travelled 180 miles from Krakow in southern Poland to register his disgust with the Law and Justice's Jarosław Kaczynski. His T-shirt reads, "Don't let the thief rule over you."
There are two Polands, and the split is more or less 50-50. There is a modern, open-minded, tolerant Poland, and there is this backward-looking, clerical, authoritarian Poland, and they are in clash for the last 5 years. It's the last moment for us to defend the European values, to stay in Europe.
Members of the European Parliament passed a resolution expressing solidarity with the pro-abortionists. Frances Fitzgerald from Ireland.
We in the European Parliament support you, we salute you, and we stand with you. Poland, pieklo kobiet, women's hell no more.
But legal expert Monika Platek dispels the notion that Europe's highest court might veto the abortion law.
European Court of Human Rights has no power to overturn the law. It can state that the situation that we have in our country is abridging the Convention of Human Rights, but it has no rights to tell you have to change the law.
Professor Platek fears the abortion ban is part of a much more sinister strategy.
It's like a battlefield, and they are checking how far they can move and take the human rights away from people. Women are just first.
These protests are evidence of growing turmoil within the European Union. The imminent departure of Britain, with its reputation for moderation, means that Poland will move up the European ladder and have a more powerful voice. The changing balance of influence is causing considerable unease across the continent.